a quality team. Number 6 in the nation, Kansas State takes on a program on the rise, Arizona State, with upset dreams tonight. Always close, always high scoring, the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. The 25th edition brings us the number 6 team in the country, the Wildcats from Kansas State. 9 points from a perfect season against the 3rd place team from the Pac 10, Arizona State. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to what is always the best of the pre-New Year's Day bowl games, and the Big 12 rep held up its part. Kansas State's the best team not playing in the bowl championship series, so close to a perfect season. The Pac 10 team couldn't hold up its end of the bargain for the great pregame matchup because Arizona State was in a league where Washington State and Southern Cal went to the bowl championship series. It's a young program on the rise led by Dirk Cutter. They know they're the biggest underdog of bowl season, but on the other side is Kansas State. Bill Snyder's great program has never finished in the top 5. They'll probably do that if they win tonight, but they also know that they laid an egg in the bowls 2 of the last 4 years. They play with more pressure tonight. Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, as we talk about this game going in, let's look at both teams. Start with K-State.
Well, Mike, first-year defensive coordinator for Kansas State, Bob Elliott, has done a tremendous job with them. Kansas State's #1 in total defense and scoring defense. And the #1 player on this team is a defensive coordinator named Terrence Newman. Now, Terrence Newman is the best corner in all America when it comes to cover receivers. He's the Big 12 sprint champion. And Kirk, I think he can cover anybody in America, and he's going to have a battle with this little guy, Sean McDonald from Arizona State. Can fly.
You know, I've worked with my man here for 7 years. He's never worn
that's right.
a winter jacket, and he decides to pull it out in San Diego, California. You look good. You look good. You're right about Sean McDonald in the matchup, because Sean McDonald's one of the better receivers in all of college football. You know, he's got a quarterback who can get him the football. Andrew Walter exploded onto the scene this year in the Pac 10. You realize he had 4 400-yard passing games this year alone. That's never been done in the Pac 10 football history. The big question, though, guys, will he have time to throw? He can release it. Yeah. He can make big plays, but they've got to do a good job of protecting him against, I think, the best defensive line that Arizona State's seen this year.
Yep. Without a doubt, that's the key. The small guys for Kansas State and Arizona State are there. The big offensive guns are there for ASU, but the Wildcats must put up points on an impressive Kansas State defense here tonight. Arizona State is will get the ball first as Kansas State. Arizona State did win the toss, I beg your pardon. They decided to take the ball and receive, so KSU is going to kick it away. Joe Ream to kick as we are set for the 2002 Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, 25th playing of this great bowl game. The weather's been perfect in San Diego, and as we say every time at this point of the game, why don't we live here? Another spectacular weather week. Will it be capped off by another fabulous game? Kickoff tumbles down to Josh Golden from the 4. Golden is hit hard and brought down at the 17-yard line. Lewis Lavender was at the bottom of the pile, and at the top, Jared Johnson helped stop for K-State. So there's the quarterback that Kirk was talking about a moment ago. What Walter's done this year is phenomenal in stats when you consider he wasn't the starter until 5 games into the season. The Coors Light starting lineup behind him. Very talented players who touch the ball. Mike Williams will be the feature running back. They don't run it very well. The fullback Carney, good in the pass game. McDonald outstanding. Lightfoot can get down the field. Pinkard's a top couple of round NFL draft pick at tight end. First down for Walter. Going to try a big shot down the field for Lightfoot. Incomplete. K-State knows Arizona State wants to challenge them deep, and you see it there from the very start. ASU's offensive line, no seniors up front. Crawford, left tackles back home. Hodgson, the right guard, maybe their best right now. Kansas State defense, toughest to score on in the nation.
Well, and I think starts up front because of how physical they can be. Keep an eye on number 30, Tank Reese. Arizona State is concerned with Tony Aguilar, their center, going up against Tank Reese because of how physical Reese can be.
2nd and 10 for Arizona State. From the 17, Walter got rid of it, but the pressure forced him to get rid of it a little sooner than he had hoped. 3rd down coming up. KSU's back 7, top 3 tacklers, the linebackers. They're all from Texas, and Buell and Hickman on the ends. They went to high school together. Lee, what about the defensive backs?
He's the best defensive back in the nation. A great cover guy, as good as they get when it comes to covering receivers.
Starting lineups, Kansas State and Arizona State. 3rd and 10 for ASU from the 17. Walter has time, has a lane to throw. It's complete for the first down to Skylar Fulton. The junior from the Northwest, Olympia, Washington, picked up 11, and the drive stays alive.
It's a big conversion here on 3rd and long. The two things happen. Number one, very important for Arizona State to give their quarterback time to throw, and they did that in a situation where you knew Kansas State was going to come after, protecting Walter and then taking on one-on-one coverage. Fulton just sat to the outside, got off the man coverage for the first down.
From the 28. First running attempt of the game. It's Mike Williams, the junior, gets across the 30 and to the 32-yard line. Yards are going to be hard to come by in there. Bobby Walker, the free safety, walked on in. You guys have seen good defenses all year. When you look at the stats, you look at the film, you look at the faces and the bodies, Bill Snyder's bunch among the best in the nation.
Bob Elliott, the new defensive coordinator, has brought a lot of the principles he used when he was at Iowa also. I think he's got a great future. He's Bump Elliott's son, the great Iowa athletic director and former Michigan player.
2nd and 8 from the 31-yard line. 3 receivers. And Walter comes back to Skylar Fulton. Pushed out of bounds in the 39-yard line by the linebacker Josh Buell. He's right at the 1st and 10 line. Encouraging start for ASU to pick up a couple of first downs here. We talked about Kansas State's defense. Here are the stats to support that they are the best in the nation. Toughest to move the ball on. Very good against the pass. And you see the points per game, 10.6. And those point totals got even stingier as we got down towards the end of the season. They just dominated people. First down was picked up. Official line of scrimmage is the 40. Now it's the 38 as a couple of yard loss for Williams. Rashad Washington, the junior strong safety, came in there.
This is why I think it's important to get Arizona State just try to establish a little bit of a threat with the running game. Rashad Washington is the safety. He's number 2. Look where he is lined up. He's going to come right through there. You know, if they truly respected that aspect of the game and the balance of Arizona State, you would see these safeties moving inside and out. But when it's 1st and 10, Kansas State's going to cheat up into the line of scrimmage because of the fact they think they can own that part of the game.
Well, they go empty there. Walter had a rush it, incomplete for the tight end Pinkert. So maybe those are some of the things you'll see from Kansas State. How do you get those safeties out of the box a little bit? Empty
like
backfield.
That. But Mike and Kirk, there's an interesting thing psychologically. Here's the #1 defensive team in the nation, and Dirk Cutter takes the football when he wins a toss.
I was surprised.
Yes,
that's a statement.
But you know, that is absolutely a statement of, look, we're not afraid of you. We're going to throw the football at you, and we think we can score on you. Tremendous psychological step by Dirk Cutter, I think.
And I think one of the things he mentioned matchups, I think you have to go away from Terrence Newman and go towards Jerry McLeod, number 5.
Walter looks that way, throws underneath, incomplete. Try to come back to Skylar Fulton for the 3rd time. He was blanketed by Walker and Terrence Newman. Walker slow to get up. As Arizona State gets ready to kick the ball away.
And that brings up a 1-down situation for the Sun Devils.
Kansas State had an outstanding special team season in terms of block kicks and kick returns. Very important for Travis Brown to take care of business. Tim Parker, I should say, to take care of business. 2nd in the Pac 10 in punting this year. Terrence Newman, a spectacular return man, awaits. Tough to return this kick. Well covered, and it'll come down at the 20-yard line. Arizona State's Mason Unk, one of their best linebackers, is a fiend on special teams. He made that play. KSU touches the ball on offense for the first time. Back at Qualcomm Stadium, San Diego, the Arizona State quarterback, Andrew Walter, picked up a couple of first downs and 21 yards on an 8-play opening drive. But now, after the punt, Kansas State will take over at its own 22-yard line. Kansas State, for those of you who did not see a lot of the Wildcats, 10-2 this season. They run it 3 out of every 4 plays. So when they do their work, it's behind a big, impressive offensive line. Their quarterback's a junior, Roberson. Top Taco Wallace laid on the field. First down, Sproles goes left to Lee Corso. There's another first down play that doesn't go anywhere. -3 on that first down. Arizona State's defense going to need a big performance in numbers. Has a chance to get a 1,000-yard season with just a decent game tonight. Might even do it on this drive. He's improved as a passer. Sproles closed the season with 8 straight 100-yard games. Wilson, a good blocking fullback. Taco Wallace leads the team in catches. James Terry takes it deep down the field. An imposing, improving tight end, Thomas Hill. Pressure, Suggs! The leading sack man of the season gets number 23.
Just playing out speed. He is getting a heck of a jump off of the snap. Just going right around Barnett. It's not fancy. It's just anticipation of the snap count and overall tremendous quickness and speed by Terrell Suggs.
Last year, we had a scoreless opening quarter. This year, we have a scoreless opening quarter. Last year, we had 37 points between Washington and Texas. The defense is saying, no, 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 not this year. After what? The ASU fans are feeling it. No score in San Diego. Back at the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl with Dr. Jerry Punch, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Mike Tirico. A scoreless opening quarter. Kansas State struggling offensively against the one unit that was spoken of the least in the lead up to this game. An Arizona State defense that has held KSU to 14 plays, 6 yards, and just 1 first down.
And this is the situation we talked about in the pregame. 3rd and long. They're going to send that Suggs from the other side. Now this time, Mike Kirk, he's playing on the left side. Last time he was on the right side, so he's going to try the right tackle this time, Mike Johnson and Billy Miller.
3rd and a quarter of the field, quick count. Roberson in trouble, put it up for grabs, incomplete. Roberson was running for his life. And they'll kick it away from their own end zone.
He moved off to the right, and Thomas Hill, the tight end. This isn't a tackle, it's the tight end. Thomas Hill, Darren Sproles is going to help out as a running back, and also they're going to use the offensive tackle, Billy Miller. Here's actually number 84 got into the mix, the tight end. Look at Sproles trying to help out. Barnett, they had 3 essentially blockers trying to contain Terrell Suggs, and they couldn't do it.
Pressure on here for Travis Brown. Just enough space. They're calling in reserves. Cheddar coming after it. Couple of peel back forward turn. Good hang time. Taplin from the 40. Tap dancing and brought down. A terrific open field play by who else? Terrence Newman, who is the Thorpe Award winner, best defensive back in the country. The punt was 35. The return just 2.
Look at this. They're starting at the 38 of Kansas State.
And they're going to take a shot. Walter stepping up. Can't get away from K-State's defensive line. That time Thomas Houchin, the junior from Sanger, Texas, comes up with his 2.5 sack of the season.
I have a recommendation for Andrew Walter and the Arizona State offense. Forget the play action, because when they play action, nobody in America knows they're going to run the football because they can't run it, and the defensive linemen just run right back and tackle the quarterback. I'd say maximum protection when you, Kirk, somehow.
Yeah, maximum protection, but sometimes, as you know, with that play action fake, it's not necessarily to hold anybody. It's more so that the blocking scheme just calls for the play action fake behind it.
Forget about it.
2nd and long. Quick hit to Darrell Lightfoot. Speedy sophomore out of Corvallis in Oregon. Picked up 9. We'll have 3rd and about 6 coming up.
It's really interesting that Kansas State is forcing Arizona State to be patient. You know, this is a big play offense that Dirk Cutter has been able to put together. Last year, in his first year, they had 29 pass plays of 20 yards or more. This year, they've had 54 pass plays of 20 yards or more. So teams that defend Arizona State without that running game that you're talking about, they're going to take away the deep throw and keep everything underneath and make them kind of play with their left hand.
McDonald, the move man, looking for him. Walter throws underneath instead. First down. That's Derek Hagan at the 23-yard line. True freshman from California out of Palmdale. They pick up 11.
Well, that's exactly what I was talking about. Forget the play action. What they did is they zone blocked the entire front line. Watch them. They'll all stay right there, nice to them. They keep in the tight end, and they block the back. That's exactly what you got to do to kick that ball off, Kirk, because I tell you what, that play action stuff ain't going to work.
Right, and Hagan, I think, is one of the more promising young receivers on the roster.
Yeah.
Freshman has had a great year this year, and that time did a nice job, not only the protection, but finding an open area there to pick up that first down.
Matt Miller, a redshirt freshman receiver in motion. Play action. Walter needs to get rid of it, put it up for grabs. Incomplete. Just trying to throw it somewhere where nobody could chase it down. Mike Pinkard, the tight end, was the intended receiver. It was blanketed by that man, Bobby Walker, who has the interception from earlier. Spectacular look from the blimp in San Diego. The Holiday Bowl parade today was absolutely perfect weather. Temperature near 70. I don't think we've seen a cloud for 2 days.
No.
We always talk about the BCS games and the value of the other bowls. This bowl is the most enjoyable trip for the kids of all these postseason games. Right up there with the Capital One Bowl from Orlando. Walters' 15th pass of the night. It's an end zone shot for McDonald, but incomplete. We talk about Terrence Newman all the time, but that doesn't mean he's the only guy on KSU's defense that can cover.
That, I think, has been the big storyline for Kansas State this year. When they came together this year with a new defensive coordinator, everybody knew about Newman, but players like Jerry McLeod have stepped up. He's played wide receiver until this year. So they had to break in 3 new defensive backs to go along with Newman. And the coaches have told us that early in the year it was probably a little bit of an inconsistent part of the defense, and it's developed into now a strength of this defense. The secondary is really playing well by the end of the year.
Needing to get to the 14 for a first down. Justin Taplin in motion. Walter sets the screen back to the other side. Williams has room. 15. And down to the 8. First and goal, Arizona State. That fast-flowing Kansas State defense gashed for 15 yards.
Boy, what a call here on 3rd and long. Kansas State's had a lot of success at putting pressure. Gonna roll out, get the defense to flow this way. And it's very key to get everybody to flow this way. All your receivers are off to the right. Then they decide to throw it back to Williams. Look at the convoy of blockers. Kansas State is very fortunate that they were able to stop that. If it weren't for Terrence Newman getting through those blockers, Mike Williams walks into the end zone.
First and goal for ASU. Williams tries the left side. Down to the 6. Yards are going to be tough to come by against this Kansas State defense down here. When you talk about red zone productivity, when you see a good red zone team, you usually see a team that's pretty good with the run. Arizona State only scored touchdowns on half their visits into the red zone, and then that dovetails with what they cannot do, rushing the ball.
Well, that's because of the fact when they have the ability to run the ball, you keep everybody inside, then you can throw outside. You see them now, right? If I was Arizona State right now, I'd run some kind of post corners or something. Get the ball to the wideouts, one-on-one, block everybody else. Don't get sacked, young man.
2 tight ends, 2 receivers. He throws for Taplin. Separation.
Yeah.
Score. Touchdown. Sun Devils. McDonald not on the field there, and they go to Taplin, the senior, out of Tempe for his 3rd touchdown of the season. Matt Cooper holds. Jay Breckenridge snaps. Mike Barth didn't miss an extra point all year. The only kicker in the Pac 10 that's true about. Justin Taplin, academics the freshman year, he was ineligible, suspended until he could get his focus on academics the next year, has gotten on board with the program of Dirk Cutter, and he caps off an 8-play, 38-yard drive with the first touchdown of the 2002 Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Walter, 4 of 6 on the drive. Arizona State leads 7-0. 8-play, 38-yard drive for the score. And guys, when we were talking during commercial, the defensive pressure, Terrell Suggs up front, the 3rd down, just throw the ball away, made it a short field after the punt. and the opportunity for Taplin to score the touchdown.
Well, they started off psychologically by challenging, by taking the ball, and they're an 18-point underdog, so they said, forget about it. Let's go after them. 1st and 10, still the most important down for Arizona State.
Greg Perrott with the kickoff, too deep to take back, and caught for a touchback by Darren Sproles.
Kansas State, I think, either has to try to get the ball to the outside on the option or get the ball thrown downfield. Arizona State is just attacking. Look at them. They have all 11 guys right now, 5 yards. Everybody at the line of scrimmage. They're trying to disguise and confuse Roberson, but they've got to attack themselves. There's the option.
Option. Put it on the ground. Loose football. Who's got it? ASU says they have it up. They do. A team that fumbled a lot. 35 times they put it on the ground, only losing it 16. Kansas State loses it there. Brian Montesanto had the recovery.
One of the things that Roberson has done a better job of this year is running this option, protecting the ball. Watch 52, Unc. He's been playing well. He's been able to use great speed to get upfield. The other thing is they're mixing up their looks for Roberson. Sometimes they're crashing down and taking him away, and other times they're sitting back and playing cat and mouse, messing with the rhythm of the option game.
First thing you got to remember, Arizona State went from last to first in the Pac 10 in turnovers because they could run better. That was an indication of their good speed.
Shot at the end zone maybe from the 16. Advantage of momentum. McDonald's in motion. They're going to run Akeem Hill up the middle. They're running the ball. Okay, guys. 5 yards to the 11-yard line. Dirk Cutter is a young program builder. He sensed what needed to change after that first season. It is so hard in a first season. It's like sleeping in somebody else's bed, wearing somebody else's clothes, eating out of somebody else's kitchen. You just don't feel comfortable, but now he kind of feels like it's evolving into his program.
Great last night we said, when you inherited this team, what did you recognize? He said, we were selfish team. They've learned to become more united, play as a team.
Similar play. That one is read by Rashard Washington. The strong safety was smelling Mike Williams and got that play. Maybe a yard. Down to Jerry Punch again.
Talking about the difference that Dirk Cutter has made with this football team. At the luncheon yesterday, I got to sit with he and some of his players, and I leaned over and asked a couple of players, Mason Unk, the linebacker, and a couple others, what the difference was this year. And they all three simultaneously, like they were singing a chorus, said the same word: chemistry. We all believe in each other. We all have chemistry. We're not nearly as talented as we were a year ago, but we believe we have the chemistry to win, and obviously it's showing here tonight.
3rd and 5, needing to get to the 7 for a first down. Underneath, it's caught, but what a stick on McDonald. My goodness, was that read by Bobby Walker. So active in this game. McDonald was trying to sneak underneath and get the first down, but the field goal unit will come on.
That's that jailbreak screen that I like so much. I keep telling Kirk I wouldn't want to defense that play, but I just found out how to play it. You get a guy like Bobby Walker, and you say, sing him, man. Wow, what a nice shot by Walker, 6'1", 196 senior.
Good kicker, Mike Barnes, senior out of Phoenix. Officially 26 yards. Good hold by Cooper, and Arizona State, double-digit underdog, double-digit lead. Just the 5th quarter in the last 50. The Kansas State's allowed 10 in one period. Sun Devils this season 3rd in the Pac 10 behind Washington State and Southern California. 2 bowl championship series teams, 8-5. Lost 3 of its last 4, but 2 of those losses were at Washington State and at Southern Cal. Their loss to California was disappointing, but they came back to win their rivalry game, one of the fiercest rivalries in the country, beating Arizona 34-20. Barak with the kickoff. Good, strong leg. Terrence Newman is advised by Sproles to settle down.
I got another stat. Listen to this one. The last time they were trailing by any point was November the 17th, 2001 against Louisiana Tech. They were down 7-0. That was a span of 14 games, and they have never been behind this early. Good point, huh? We'll see.
And come back to one.
Yeah, we'll see.
From the 20, here is Sproles. He gains just about 3 yards, and they're only averaging a half foot per snap. Not a half a yard, a half a foot per snap here tonight. That's why they're off to such a slow start.
And field position is always a big key. Special teams, and it seems like the ball has been towards the back end of the Kansas State field most of the game. Arizona State's average field position midfield. Kansas State starting at their own 19.
Good stuff right there. And that is the old-time football. That's the old-time football. Field position, kicking you.
2nd and 7. Roberson to throw. It's protected. Shot downfield for Newman. So Terrence Newman, who caught 1 ball this year in the very first game of the season, begging to get on the field offensively at different points this year, does here and gains 36.
He told us in Orlando at the awards show, I got to get more involved with the offense. So he messes around in practice once in a while. You can see the speed that he has going right by R.J. Oliver, and he just kind of stuck onto the field. Nobody even saw it. 2nd and 6. He came off the sideline and just lined up out there at wide receiver and went right around Oliver for a big gain, and that's what they needed to do, take some of the pressure off of Roberson in this offense.
Stems the momentum a little bit. Sproles now giving some space. Spinning and moving. Sproles on his way to the end zone. Touchdown, KSU. Bang, bang. 43 and 41. The yards on back-to-back plays changed the texture of this game.
That simple little fade to Terrence Newman sometimes has a way of softening a defense. And the next play, Darren Sproles comes right at him with a big gain.
Darren Sproles made about 90% of that run by running away from everybody, but more important, breaking tackles.
Boy, he's strong, isn't he, for a little guy?
Look, Quentin Griffin, Oklahoma. The 2 best little running backs in the nation.
Sophomore Joe Ream, they struggled with kicking early in the season. That has settled down of late. Ream adds his 50th extra point of the season. For the 10th time this year, a touchdown run of 20 yards or more for Kansas State. Comes from a guy who found the end zone 16 times before. The Stars get KSU back into the game. A couple of sweet big plays. The 41-yard touchdown by Darren Sproles probably would not have happened if not for the big pass to that man. The best defensive back in the nation this year, Terrence Newman, who had 1 other offensive snap. It was a 51-yard touchdown.
He gets on the field, things happen.
Both sides of the ball, right?
Maybe he's on to something.
10-7, returnable kickoff for Josh Golden from the 10. Some numbers here. Golden up the field. They've got an angle on him, but it'll be great field position for Arizona State. Right where they start all year.
That's where they start.
All night. Yeah. Right at midfield. Wow. 42 yards on that return. Golden's longest return of the season, Coach.
And Golden goes up the left side. It kind of makes everybody think he's going that way. Then makes a break to the outside. And the reason why I like this play, it gives them an opportunity to answer.
Yep.
Anytime you're an underdog and the favorite sticks you in the mouth, you got to come right back and hit him in the mouth with some big play. Wonderful return.
Some good blockings here to open up a huge alley for Golden.
Walter on first down for the 42. Wants a shot downfield. It's caught by McDonald. Lost his footing at the 19. Almost could have taken it the distance. He sent 1 man down the middle, cleared out some space for the junior Sean McDonald. 23 on the passing catch.
This is an outstanding scheme. They're going to move McDonald around. They're going to try to find different ways to get him the ball. Here he's just going to use his speed to get into the open area in the zone, and he's able to get away from the safety, Rashad Washington. And as a mismatch, when you have McDonald running a 4-3 against a strong safety and Rashad Washington, he's going to win that battle every single time.
In the red zone again, Mike Williams got the corner, got to the 14-yard line, picked up about 5 yards. Lee mentioned it earlier, and Jerry brought up the point as well. Dirk Cutter is his own offensive coordinator, and it was funny. Our producer Tom Archer asked him in the meeting, hey coach, at any point do you see yourself giving up the offensive coordinator job? And it's like asking somebody to share a little bit of their dinner when they're hungry. No way. He loves the process of preparing to call plays in a game.
It's like asking a 4-year-old for some of his ice cream. You know, there's no chance. I mean, even when he eventually gives in, it's going to be tough for him to do that. He loves the involvement.
2nd and 4, Williams. Nice job of being patient. He will be just shy of the first down there at about the 9-yard line. They'll probably bring it out and measure. They're going to mark him shy of the 9. So we'll have 3rd and less than a yard coming up. And we'll talk about the process. It's something he's been involved with throughout his coaching career. Age 43, Arizona State, after successful years at Boise State. Getting Boise State to 2 Big West titles under Mike Bellotti as the offensive coordinator at Oregon. Before that with Dan Henning at BC. Bob Stull at Missouri. When he was at Missouri, he went up against Bill Snyder's teams 4 different occasions. Hill pops it to the outside. Touchdown! Hakeem Hill! Fans who came across the pass from the desert in Tempe are certainly enjoying it. Hakeem Hill had 5 touchdowns on the season. The redshirt freshman pounds it in there. And Arizona State a chance to re-extend to double digits. Mike Barth true on the try one more time. 17 points allowed in this quarter by Kansas State. The most they've allowed to anybody all season.
You know how I am, Mike. We've talked about this, Lee. I love to watch players when they come on the sideline. Talking to people back at Iowa City, I love to see a team with camaraderie come off of the sideline and everybody's hugging each other, and it's not an individual thing, and that's what I think the difference in Arizona State this year. They don't maybe have the talent that they had a year ago, but it's a team that genuinely cares about each other, and that's really helped them this year.
Very surprising start to this game. Well, anybody asks you all week out here, can they hang in it? I don't know.
Exactly.
Numbers don't tell you that. What is it Berman says? It's why they play the games. Terrence Newman. That's Unk again. Unk again with the play. From the 5, Roberson. Hemmed in momentarily, got out to about the 8-yard line.
All right, one more look at the touchdown. Let's see why he gets in there. Watch number 3, Mike Williams, right here on the right side of your picture. Watch him as he goes in, and he hooks in the defensive end and allows Hill to bounce to the outside. You'll say, how did that guy get in there that quick? Well, it was the block of Williams that made that play go. Great play.
Ryan Hickman, the backer on that side, was the last line of defense on that side.
I just thought it was really interesting, though, and creative, the way they decided to break the huddle real fast, get to the line, quick count. I don't think Kansas State got in alignment to be able to defend that play properly.
2nd and 7. Sproles through the defense. Ball came out. They say no. Down. He's a live football, and it's recovered by Arizona State. We thought he was down for a second, but they said no, that ball was live, and it was a fumble. Arizona State had it. The ball came out again after that, but it is ASU ball. Recovered by Brett Hudson, the quarterback.
Darren Sproles is trying to do everything that he can when he gets into the open field. He's breaking tackles. He's got to be able to hold on to the ball. And I think Shivers, as he starts to go down, rips that ball out. And Bates came in with the headgear to help Shivers. So it was, you look at Sproles, this is a tough run here. I mean, he's showing his leg strength. Shivers is in there, and Bates' helmet probably jarred the ball loose for Arizona State.
Remember, I mentioned this before. They went from last to first in the Pac 10 in turnovers. That's why their defense is much better.
They have a problem on this play up on the top of your screen there. Walter looking that way. Throws to Taplin. Caught it, went down at the 22-yard line. 2nd and 11 from the 27. Kansas State rushes 4. Walter got rid of it quick. To McDonald. Couldn't shake away from Newman. Let him know about it. At the 22.
something that gets overlooked on a short gain like that. But did you see the hands on Sean McDonald? So often you see receivers at the college level, a lot of times young receivers who want to use their chest or use their pads to bring in a reception. I think the exceptional receivers, the receivers that eventually go on to play in the NFL, are able to use their hands to bring the ball in. There he just showed why he's one of the premier receivers in the country.
And Terrence Newman showed you why he's going to be a great pro.
Yeah.
Boom, hit him, went straight down.
Leading to get to the 17. Little swing pass. Williams couldn't catch up to it. It would have been tough for him to pick up the first down. KSU was flowing that way. 4th down, field goal time. Big stop for the Kansas State defense, even if they can just limit them to 3.
You know, that 6th straight possession that started in Kansas State territory for Arizona State. They're very fortunate to only be down potentially 20-7 or maybe 17-7, depending on what happens here.
Also, the very good point here is twice the Kansas State defense has rose up and stopped them and forced field goals on 2 fumble recoveries.
39 yards this attempt from the right hash for Mike Barth. Senior from Phoenix. He gets it through. Arizona State extends to a 20-7 lead. Sproles' fumble turned into 3 for ASU. Greg Perrott with the kickoff. He's been good on these kicks tonight. Most returnable kickoff of the evening. Terrence Newman took 1 back for touchdown this year. He's taken down to the 22-yard line.
My point is, from a coach's standpoint, if you're sitting up there with 7 points and have done absolutely nothing except 2 plays, you got to be thinking, I've got to change quarterbacks. You can't change anybody else on the offensive team.
Roberson put it up top, step on the defense.
Change the play calling, get the ball downfield.
Beautiful play.
Taco takes it down to the 32-yard line.
They've been trying to get this for the last 3 possessions. They were able to hit Terrence Newman. And again, we've been talking about this since the beginning of the game. Look at Arizona State with their linebackers. They're bringing everybody. They're going to attack the line of scrimmage until Kansas State proves that they can get behind that man-to-man coverage to try to slow down the Arizona State defense. Once again, you can see all 11 defenders up towards the line of scrimmage on a 1st and 10 play.
We've had plays of 36, 41, and 46 tonight to move it down the field. Roberson's pass is short for James Terry. KSU coming up with the big play, what Arizona State does so well. Kansas State only has 4 first downs thus far in the game, but they are a big play away from being just down 6.
Reverse, coach. Come on, anything. Let me
I'm working it hard.
Come on. I'm ready. I'm fresh.
David Dennis, wide receiver, freshman, is in the game. 1 of the 3 that Roberson's looking for. Got away from Suggs. This is where he's good. Roberson on the run. Touchdown. 32 yards. Doesn't matter who the teams are, boys. It's the Holiday Bowl. Give them a chance. They kick in. Roberson's 14th touchdown run on the season. And he inches ever closer to 1,000 rushing yards. He's not there yet because of sack yardage that he's lost earlier tonight.
Thank you.
Joe Ream on the extra point. Out of Mike Wilson's snap and Travis Brown's hold. Quite a second quarter again. Kansas State will get the ball first to start the second half, and they'll leave the field leading 20-14. KSU does this all the time. They leave the field as one. Jerry Punch.
Talking along with Coach Snyder. Coach, very atypical of your guys, sluggish at the start. Are you concerned or frustrated a little bit about how you guys started tonight?
Well, we haven't played very well on offense, and Arizona State has played very well on defense and really has kind of taken us out of our game, so to speak. Not allowed us, given us the opportunity to run the ball. Now we're throwing it a little bit, but we just have to have some consistency with our offense. Our defense is not playing poorly. We just the offense has just given up great field position, and we haven't punted the ball very well. Those things have to take place in the second half.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Michael?
The losses were to Colorado and Texas. Chris Fowler last year, no points in the first quarter, 37 in the second. This year, no points in the first quarter of the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, 34 in the second quarter. ASU by 6 as we send it to Chris and company in the studio. Back just outside of downtown San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium, the 2002 Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. As usual, high scoring, close game, and great halftime shows. Arizona State, double-digit underdog, leading 20-14. Mike Tirico, the Natalie-attired Lee Corso. After all year in Fort Collins and all the cold weather,
he brings it out in San Diego. That's good.
It was a Christmas present for my wife, and I promised I'd wear it no matter what the temperature is.
It looks beautiful.
And I'm wearing it.
You never looked better. Well, things have looked better in the past at Kansas State, but the touchdown that they scored at the end of the first half, I think very important. Spin it ahead to half number 2.
Well, first of all, the two things that jumped out of me. Number one, time of possession. Arizona State has had the ball 10 minutes more. And we talked about at the beginning of the show, Kirk, if Arizona State somehow control 1st and 10, got a chance to win. The only 2 big plays on 1st and 10, Kansas State scored with them.
Well, they've been able to produce some touchdowns, but to keep them in this game. But Arizona State's controlled this game with their defensive effort. They have stopped Kansas State. They've taken away Kansas State's strength, which is running the football. The entire first half, the football was in Kansas State's territory. Arizona State started their average field position at the Kansas State 48, while Kansas State started at their own 16. So they've got to turn some things around, and I think the way to do that is they've got to throw the football more on 1st and 10.
Kansas State will get the ball first to start the second half. Bill Snyder's team trying to keep a trend going. You know about the trend of high-scoring, close holiday bowls? The team trailing at the half has won the last 5. That means nothing for tonight. But it's interesting, though.
Just a tit.
It's an interesting little
nice little tit.
Nice. Greg Perrock with the kickoff. An indecision, but Sproles decides to bring it out and got it back out to the 20. Let's go check in with Dr. Jerry Punch. Doc?
Guys, at halftime, Dirk Cuddy talked about what you guys just mentioned a moment ago. 4 big plays, give up 14 points on his defense. Otherwise, they played very, very well in the first half. He told his kids that the biggest thing in the second half was intensity. He said, we have to play like it's 0-0. He said, no, we have to play like we are behind because it's a great football team we're playing here for the final 30 minutes, guys. Play like we are behind, not up by 6.
Jerry, as impressive in the locker room as he was when we met with him yesterday and around him earlier today?
Very emotional coach, very impressive, quite the leader. Now we understand why he is the next young guy to come along to be a great head football coach here in college football.
Michael? Sure is, Doc, age 43. What a terrific job he's doing. Sproles the first down run. Get him out to the 26, pick up about 5. Here are the numbers at the intermission. Lee mentioned the time of possession, 20 minutes to 10, essentially, for Arizona State. Kirk talked about the average starting position. What you expect from Arizona State? Didn't run it, threw it well, didn't throw it as well as we thought they would. Kansas State ran it better than they threw it.
Most amazing stat is having close to 20 minutes of time of possession for Arizona State. They haven't done that all year. They're an offense that scores quickly. And for them to be able to control the tempo, that's very, very surprising.
Roberson, the quarterback, sees Suggs, spins away from the nation's leading sack man, and uses his rushing ability to pick up a first down at the 32-yard line. Josh Amobi made the tackle.
And the reason why Kansas State has the football here in the second half is because Arizona State won the toss and elected to take the football as a psychological ploy. Very important. Dirk Cutter set the tempo with that call.
Here he goes again. Needs a couple of yards. You mentioned Ron Hudson, who coaches the quarterbacks, is the offensive coordinator for Kansas State. Guy you know it all, Kirk?
Yeah.
You know Ron?
Yeah.
You just talk to him as like you talk to other coordinators, or you ever work with him? Ronnie was your offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
There he is. Look at the one thing about Coach Hunt is he lets the game. He can really. He's living emotionally in the game. But he's had a heck of a career since he's been in Manhattan calling plays with Bill Snyder at Kansas State.
He told us that you You're a triple option quarterback who barely knew how to throw the ball. Now, we know your pops. We know different. We know you can throw it all right before you got there. Roberson can throw, but he's going to take off. Now pump and throw. It's caught by Evans. He danced around that line of scrimmage and was able to get rid of it.
Very, very close.
I thought it was
past the line.
To be honest, I did.
Yes.
Well, if L. Roberson, when he came to the outside, if he would have had a chance to peek up at Evans early, oh my gosh, he would have been able to find. Look, Evans is coming right across the field. Nobody is with him. And I know that Roberson's doing everything he can to survive back there, and it's easier from up here, but he had him wide open very early before he had to start scrambling for extra yardage.
You see the block by the tight end Hill? I think he took Suggs into the bench. Fullback Wilson.
Yep.
Just a triple.
Keeps going to the 23-yard line.
I think if Kansas State runs more triple option in the fourth quarter, that they are going to absolutely be impossible to stop.
Well, this drive is more of what you expect from Kansas State. Mixing in some triple, throwing a little bit more on 1st and 10, and really moving the ball right down the field.
It's a drive that will continue into the next one. Off we go to the fourth quarter, and we've got a ball game. Same as it ever was in the prior 24 Pacific Life Holiday Bowls. Kansas State's band made the trip from Manhattan. Open a cheer score as off we go to the fourth quarter. Sun Devils leading the number 6 team in the country. The best team not in the bowl championship series, Kansas State, by 6. A long K-State drive. Started 4.5 minutes ago. We get to play 10 on 2nd and 5. Quarterback L. Roberson. Incomplete. Derek Evans never looked back at the ball as he was trying to shake free from Josh Golden.
We've talked all night about Terrell Suggs' speed. Guys, here's a feel. This is Reggie White. I mean, he went right through Billy Miller. Right through it. Billy Miller's almost a 300-pound guy. He just brought his forearm right through his chest and ran right over top of him.
Arizona State's made defensive subs. They are just getting in position. Suggs top of the screen. 3rd and 5. In field goal range. Run Sproles. Stop to the 19. If anything I come away with tonight, even though Kansas State has run for about 150 yards, Arizona State's held its own against K-State's running game. And I didn't think that was going to happen coming in.
No, but we also didn't expect the 4-3 defense that they've changed to and the way they've attacked the line of scrimmage. I mean, they're putting everybody at the line of scrimmage, playing man out there and saying, beat us if you can with a passing game.
They're going to go for it here on 4th and less than a yard.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Me too.
Go ahead, let's go.
Absolutely.
Both sets of fans are down at this end of Qualcomm Stadium. So some noise will be made. Less than a yard to be made. Roberson, 1st down at the 16-yard line.
Well, you knew that was coming. Well, you knew it was going to be the quarterback sneak because the one coach is an AARP representative, Bill Snyder. And anything less than a yard, boom. He's quick.
I was getting worried. It's 4th quarter. It's after 11 o'clock on the East Coast. No AARP.
I got it in that.
Feel better now. Gosh.
If you see Snyder, you can see he and I are members of the AARP card-carrying members, and that was exactly what you do.
Did you get a kickback from them? AARP?
I know. $15 a year.
Nick Leckie, the first team all Big 12 lineman, made a good block there. Sproles up the middle. Boy, is he met. Hit the 11-yard line. Wow.
Alfred Williams.
With a shot, the graduate student out of Irvine, California.
He's known throughout the Pac Ten as one of the fierce hitters. It's always fun. You always know you're going to find some big hitters in the Pac Ten, the safeties. A couple big hits in there. Boom. Oh, man. And Darren Sproles is a little guy, and with his low center of gravity and leg drive, he's a tough guy to get a shot like that on.
The fullback, Roberson, follows, turning forward to the 3-yard line. This is a very reminiscent of the drive in terms of the Holiday Bowl. In '99, when Kansas State beat Washington 24-20, they had a 20-play, 92-yard drive that took nearly 10 minutes. Their quarterback, Jonathan Beasley, led that one. This is play 15 coming up of a similar drive as KSU tries to win the trophy in this game for the 3rd time.
Been really, really impressed with L. Roberson's poise tonight. Things have not been going well, but you can see the maturity that the coaches have talked about and the difference now in L. Roberson. He has kept his cool throughout this game to allow Kansas State to have this kind of drive.
That was the triple option.
Yep. And how about
he followed the fullback right in like a lead play.
This is their big backfield. Nick, Vick, and Thick, they call it. 3 big uns clearing the way. That time, Ayo Sabah, the Thick in Nick, Vick, and Quick, was stopped. That was Nick, Vick, and Quick. Or Thick. They ain't Quick. That's a sharp.
Yeah.
You say the name Vick, and instantly you think Quick. You know, that's why you probably. But I think right now they're going to try the power game, but also option game down inside this area is always a good call with a quarterback like L. Roberson.
The reason why it's a good call down here is he's so quick, and it doesn't take like boom, and he's in the end zone. That's why I like the option of fake and roll out, put the ball in Roberson's hands.
Same Nick, Vick, and Thick backfield. Play 16 of the drive. Is Roberson keeping? Touchdown, Kansas State. The drive 2 in the Holiday Bowl. Joe Ream mentioned he struggled earlier, but very good later on in the season with extra points. For the lead. Bad snap. Ream in trouble. Brought down. It wasn't a bad snap. It was held incorrectly. He went down, so you can't have the defensive 2-point conversion. Travis Brown, who was banged up earlier on a punt, didn't get it down properly. Well, the snap looked fine. So instead of a lead, all square at 20 after a 16-play, 7-minute drive capped off by L. Roberson. Remember, punter Travis Brown took a big shot earlier, was shaken up, and he's not hanging around his teammates right now. Couldn't hang on to the snap. Extra point botched. 9th missed extra point of the season for Kansas State. Thus, we are all square at 20. A new game with 12:16 remaining in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Josh Golden on the return. Met and hit hard at the 21-yard line.
Second down and 6 to go. The ball up to 31.
Empty backfield. Walter up top, down the middle. 34 first down yards for the tight end Mike Pinkard, who has gone from the doghouse to round 1 or 2 in the NFL draft on ESPN next April.
Well, when you make a statement like he's a potential 1st or 2nd round tight end, that means he has to have the ability to get vertical, and that's what he's going to be able to do here. Get slipped right behind Terry Pierce, and there's that throw again, right over the linebacker, but underneath the safety. It's a little bit of a hole in the defense. And Andrew Walter is very comfortable throwing that ball. 2
straight snaps, empty backfield. Maybe Arizona State getting aggressive offensively again. Walter throws in the air, incomplete. Hot shot, but Pinkard couldn't catch that time.
Coaches saw something upstairs. They have all of a sudden wanted to get Pinkard more involved in the game plan. 2 straight calls, and they tried to get the ball in his hands.
Well, Dirk Cutter told us yesterday that he was going to try to ISO Pinkard, who's 6'5", 264 pounds, on linebackers because he thought he could beat him. But he hasn't done it much tonight. You're right, Kurt. Now he must have come back and said, okay, let's get the ball to Pinkard more in the middle. Good call, I think, so far.
Kind of a player who has symbolized the Arizona State program the last 2 years.
Play action. Sean McDonald. Newman rides him out of bounds. Right at the line. Looks like it'll be a first down. Arizona State, a 4th quarter drive here. They're used to being in situations tied or tight games. Kansas State very stingy in the 4th. They haven't given up a touchdown in the 4th quarter in nearly 11 weeks.
This is one of my favorite plays, and one of the best plays in the pros is they put a guy like Sean McDonald in the middle, and then he does with a curl route. Watch him start to the inside, reads the coverage, and it flows to the outside. The pros love that play because it gives, and no matter man for man or zone, you can hit him with it.
1st and 10 from the 35. McDonald with time outside. It's a tough throw to make, and he made it.
That's danger.
To Matt Miller, who caught only 4 balls all year. Pick up a 5.
That's backyard football right there. And even Andrew Walter had a little grimace there.
That's almost taking back football, taking back the other way.
Well, Dirk Cutter told us, you know, my offensive philosophy, one of the things that I believe in is, you know, people talk about trying to get 4 yards, but there are a lot of tough ways to pick up 4 yards. We try to make it a little bit simpler, but in that case, it's a little bit tougher picking up 4 yards.
Brings up 2nd down and 6 to go. The ball up to 31.
He's got Hill, his running back, all the way down here.
Empty backfield again, working against the zone. There is Hill. 1st down and more. To the 16-yard line. So this empty against the zone, advantage Arizona State for now. Now they're in a tough spot in the red zone.
But what that does is it's continuing to give the defense a lot of window dressing. Give them as many different formations as possible. Make them adjust. For the offense, it's the same theories, the same principles, but you're coming at the defense in a different look, and it makes it much, much tougher on that defense to try to make the adjustments to stop them.
And they went after number 4, Terrence Newman, with a running back. Very interesting call.
2 receivers, bottom of your screen. Justin Tamplin in motion. From the 16. Walter has a pocket, has a lane. Almost had a touchdown to Derek Hagan. The freshman trying to pull in the first one of his career.
Okay, that was a laser. Yeah, this guy has got a huge arm. Watch him drop back here and put this through some defenders. I mean, it's like he's throwing a dart, but it's coming at about 75 miles an hour.
The raw skills have been there. It's the maturation process that was not there, and the fundamentals. It's kind of like the natural, that 98-mile-per-hour fastball. I don't know how to pitch.
The Pac 10 better take notice, because he is the future of the Pac 10.
All throw. Dumped down to McDonald, stuck at the 10 by Newman. That matchup all night. When it's happened, whether man or zone situations, has been fun. You can see from that hard hit and the love tap on the head, there's mutual respect this evening.
It's respectful both ways. And Terrence Newman, when you watch him play, everybody wants to talk about his speed. But you know what? He is physical. He likes to hit him. He likes to get involved, and that's why I think he's one of the best corners out there. He's got the closing speed, but he's also physical and likes to be able to prove that he can hit. And I think at the next level, he wants to show that ability too.
3rd and 4 in field goal range, wanting to keep the drive alive. McDonald up top. Walter looking that way. Now comes back the other way to Mike Williams. He's at the 5. Touchdown! That is some kind of drive against the toughest team to score against in the country.
They had that great defense on their heels that whole drive. Different formations, different play calling, and Terrence Newman and company didn't know which way the ball was coming at each play.
An extra point to go up 7 by Mike Barth. 27-20 Arizona State. 8-play drive, 8 pass attempts. 6 of them complete, 78 yards down the field. Mike Williams didn't have a touchdown catch all year. He took care of business here and a double-digit underdog. Now, you guys got no chance, they heard all week. 10.5 left. Look at the scoreboard, sweetheart. Arizona State leads number 6 by 7. Ten and a half left. 4th quarter, Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. A very impressive sophomore, Andrew Walter. He's really opened eyes nationally with his stats. 4 different times this year he threw for over 400 yards in a game. That time he engineered an all-pass 6 of 8 drive. And in 1:46, Kansas State went from tied to down 7. Newman will catch it at the 4. Terrence Newman slides to the ground at the 20-yard line. There's the head coach working with the quarterback. He turns the defense over to a guy who's been with for a half dozen years. Great guy. Roberson, good throw to James Terry. In a foot race, Terry across midfield. Brought down at the 45-yard line. So K-State responds 32 yards on that one.
Against man coverage, everybody at the line of scrimmage, they've tried to fade route to Newman. They've tried to fade route to Taco Wallace and Jason Terry. Another good route is that quick slant. Everybody up, man coverage, one-on-one on the outside, and L. Roberson just drops back, 3 quick steps, and has his man getting to the inside and beating Oliver to the point. And after that point, it's just pitch and catch.
You know, we talked about Dirk Cutter calling some good plays. Ron Hudson in the last 3 series has called some very good imaginative plays.
They've made some big turnaround in the second half.
Roberson to throw. Perfect throw to Terry. Perfect. First down to 34.
They have got to continue to do this because Arizona State's just giving it to them. They're taking away the running game. They're trying to take away the option attack and leaving themselves out there in one-on-one coverage. And L. Roberson has enough ability in throwing the ball, and those receivers do, to execute the passing game in man-to-man situations. 2 plays, and they're right now deep inside Arizona State territory. Now Arizona State's probably going to fall out and go to some zone.
Roberson looking for the hat trick with Terry. Incomplete. K-State fans wanted a pass interference flag. It was not thrown. Dr. Jerry Punch. Terry seeing the ball because his running mate's not out there.
Exactly, Michael. Taco Wallace, their starting wide receiver, had his left ankle and foot looked at by the trainers on the side here, Jeff Ferguson and company. Fergie put an orthotic in his shoe, and Taco has had trouble walking, getting up and sort of limping around with that left ankle and foot. Has not been back in the ballgame. They'd like to use him in the fade situation, but they don't have him here tonight.
It's a shame that Taco Wallace didn't have a good game. And this is the only stadium in America where they sell fish tacos at the concession stands. You thought it'd be a big night for Taco in San Diego.
Should ordered one of those.
2nd and 10. Sproles up the middle. Nobody home as Sproles gets out to the 21-yard line. And Shivers pulls him down after 14 yards. And that's what you talk about with play calling.
And that was an imaginative call by Ron Hudson that time. He sends number 9, Derek Evans, in motion and fakes it to him, and the linebackers move to the outside, and poof, Sproles right there. Now, Ron Hudson in this last 3 series is matching Dirk Cutter as some of the best play calls we've seen this year.
Well, it's all about adjustments because the defense, the Arizona State defense was dictating tempo, and Ron Hudson and his Kansas State offense, they've made some adjustments, and now they're trying to be the aggressor. Now they're attacking Arizona State. Again, man coverage.
Roberson looking left, fires incomplete for Terry, who was held up a little bit more on the physical shot at the line by R.J. Oliver, the corner. Solomon Bates, the linebacker, fell awkwardly, and he was slow to get up back at the quarterback.
If Kansas State's going to win this game, they're going to have to continue to prove that they can throw the football against man-to-man coverage. You have 7 or 8, sometimes 9 guys at the line of scrimmage to stop Sproles and Roberson from running. You have to be able to protect and execute against man-to-man coverage.
And one of the best plays against man-for-man coverage is run the option.
Their great defender, Suggs, is in. K-State's great defender, Newman, is in on offense again for the 6th snap tonight. They pitch it to Sproles. Brought down at the 20. Solomon Bates was slow to get up after the last play. He was quick to get to the ball carrier, along with Al Williams that time.
There's some triple option there. It was one back look with Sproles out to the wing, and instead of blocking, he just kind of backed up and became the pitch back, even though he was lined up off to the slot there, off to the right.
Well, let's put it this way. I have never seen the triple option run from that
one back. I haven't either.
That's a nice call.
Tried to catch him off guard there with the formation, but Arizona State's quickness got out there to make the tackle.
Play came in a little late. Newman in the game, coming to the bottom of the screen. Roberson sets up the screen for Newman. Solomon Bates smelled it out and brought him down. What do you want to do here on 4th and 9? 7.5 left, down 7. All your timeouts. Arizona State leading Kansas State 27-20.
I said maybe he doesn't have confidence in his defense. Maybe he does have that confidence to think, listen, even if we don't get this, we can get the ball back by our defense that we have them pinned back here at their own 22-yard line if we come up short.
They come back to different personnel. Newman's in the game. James Terry's the other receiver. The tight end Hill is in there. 2 backs, Sproles and Wilson. 4th and 10. ASU heats it up. Roberson puts it up for grabs for Terry, who was held, but caught the ball. First and goal, Kansas State at the 1.
Oh,
Man, a lot.
oh, man.
Tell you what, he was held.
Yeah.
As you say, he was really held. The fact that he was able to get there. Roberson dropped back, bought some time, and just threw it into the corner.
Holding defense. Penalty is declined.
Oh,
Play
man.
results. First down.
Wait till you see L. Roberson get hurt and hit. Watch him get hit.
He drops back.
Look.
Throws it off his back foot. The hold has already happened. I can't believe the ball got there. And what a throw. Oh, here we go, Ron. To get there. He already saw the call. He already saw the call, let alone the catch.
Oh, man.
First and goal. Roberson keeping again. Did he get in? We wait for the signal. A marker's down on the far side. Kansas State say, hey, he's laying in the end zone. There's no signal for a touchdown yet. Remember, there's a flag down as well. The 10 officials will huddle and discuss.
Sounds like we have 22 other officials helping out out there.
Look at they're all
Touchdown. All right, it's touchdown. Let's check the flag first.
Offside.
Okay.
Defense. Penalty is declined. Play resulted in a touchdown.
Roberson's 3rd of the game. And now Kansas State, which missed its last extra point, needs to get this one to tie it up.
We always talk about answering. It was 20-14. Kansas State made it 20-20. Arizona State came right back and went up 7. And now Kansas State comes back. And if they hit this, let's wait now.
Travis Brown is holding again. Mike Wilson snaps to square the game. Snap good, hold good. Game time.
This is a Holiday Bowl. We must be in San Diego.
What is it about this place?
It's unbelievable.
It's the best.
It's the best. It's no better. My boys are fired up, folks. All square to 27. It's better than good. Back-to-back double-digit play drives for touchdowns, squaring the game at 27. It was 16 plays last time, 11 this time. Roberson's 3rd touchdown of the night. But let me tell you something. We got a lot to do between now and then. Short kickoff, Josh Golden from the 14 to the 24. Return of 10. That last drive, Kansas State survived.
They survived here on a 4th and 10. L. Roberson drops back, throws it off his back foot. The holding call on Golden, pass interference, doesn't matter. Still makes the completion to Terry.
Well, let me tell you something about Roberson. Before that drive, Roberson had completed 5 passes the entire game.
Let me tell you something.
And that 4 for 6 for 60.
Let me quote Santana Moss. Big-time players make big plays in big games.
Especially
he just did it.
Especially if they're lucky.
From the 37, pocket collapses. Walters brought down. Sacked by Justin Montgomery, who we thought we'd see a little more of tonight. 2nd and 16 coming up.
I think people who just tune in, they see 27-27. People might be thinking, boy, Kansas State, they probably showed up flat like they did in '98 when they had to go to the Alamo Bowl. No. Kansas State showed up ready to play. It's just the team that they're playing tonight also showed up ready to play. I don't want to hear excuses that Kansas State they were disappointed because they weren't involved in the BCS. That's why the game's close. Arizona State came ready to play this football game.
Officially 2nd and 17. Tackling in motion. Walter looking that way, comes back to the second receiver. McDonald got back some of the sack yardage and then some. We'll have 3rd and 8 from the 39. Clock will be under 5 minutes at the next snap.
Sean McDonald, when we talked to him yesterday, I couldn't believe how short he is. Could you believe it? I could eat spaghetti off his head.
He's a little guy.
He's a little guy. But boy, is he quick, and boy, is he good. Now, you think he might come out? He's got 1 more year.
That's the talk. There's talk between Terrell Suggs and Sean McDonald. Are they going to come out? Are they going to stay? My feeling is Suggs probably comes out. McDonald probably could use 1 more year to become one of the best receivers in the country.
What a player.
Empty backfield, 3rd and 8. They bring a little more heat. Quick pass, nearly intercepted. It's incomplete. Walker was going for the big shot on McDonald, but they brought 1 more guy, and the pressure forced Walter to get rid of it quick. Wait time.
The way he is playing tonight, that's the only way you can stop Andrew Walter. You have to be able to get pressure on him. Big time for a return here from Terrence Newman, who has not been able to get out yet.
From the 25, a 2 miss, 5 miss. Newman up the field. Will he turn the corner? Pulled down from behind at the 41-yard line by Josh Amobi.
Set up the return, and he finally had an opportunity to make the first guy miss and run to an alley. And unfortunately, he needed a little bit of help to get him into the open once he made that initial move.
And I found as a coach, a lot of times this happens in the 4th quarter when the coverage team gets tired. And Newman took advantage of that, because that's the first time they'd let him have 5 yards, if nothing else.
So
If it weren't for that holding call, they'd be in great position.
Yep.
Still pretty good, though. The 41-yard line. Tie game. They can just run their stuff. Roberson for 2.
Quarterback keeper, Roberson.
Field goal kicker Joe Ream, 9 of 12 on field goals this season. He has not made a field goal over 40 yards this year. So if you're thinking Joe Ream's field goal range, you're thinking about the 23-yard line. Solomon Bates is coming off. He might be cramping up. This is the time of this game most every year that we see a lot of lower leg injuries as it gets cool here in San Diego. Amobi, who went down after the tackle on special teams, comes back in. Roberson to run again. It's just his show right now. And L takes it out to the 49-yard line.
The quarterback keep, number 3, Roberson.
Good recognition there by L. Roberson. A ton of man coverage. Man. That time, Arizona State fell back, and I think L. Roberson was expecting some man coverage, and he's got enough quickness, as we've seen all year, to be able to get into that alley there against that defense and shake a guy loose and pick up some yards.
I agree with you in one respect, but I think that was a called quarterback draw. It looked like to me he went back and ran it automatic, because the blocking looked like a draw. Good call by Ron Hudson.
3rd and 2. Right in the belly of the fullback, who kept the play alive, and Travis Wilton gets a first down. Travis Wilton is from Howell, Michigan, went to Michigan State, had touchdowns against Notre Dame, among other teams, left MSU, came down to Kansas State, was such a leader as a redshirt that he was voted as a captain, but ran into some off-the-field trouble with the law and was stripped of his captaincy. He was humbled, but still has been a team leader without that captaincy. And Bill Snyder has turned to Wilton in a key spot here to pick up the first down.
Heck of a collision. The extra effort allowed Wilson to pick up the first down.
Out of the gun, 3 receivers, designed to run Roberson. They can't get to him. Roberson on the move and to the 30-yard line. So L. Roberson, who had a 228-yard rushing day against Nebraska, is showing some of those plays here in the second half.
Shotgun quarterback draw called by Ron Hudson. I like the calls because it's keeping the ball into the #1 player on their football team in his hands. I don't care what you call, make sure that number 3 keeps it.
A couple of injuries here. Unk just came off the field. Bates came off earlier. Both starting linebackers are not out there for Arizona State. Well, they are thin in that second level. And Sproles gets to that level. To the 25-yard line. He's pulled back by Jamar Williams, a true freshman inserted in the lineup as we come inside of 2 minutes remaining in the game.
Right away, recognition upstairs and seeing that those linebackers are out. Not only the quarterback draws, but just a simple power game, something that they have not been able to establish all night long. But going after some of the young linebackers, look at the point of attack and look at Kansas State winning that battle. It's one of the first times all game through almost 4 quarters that they've been able to run that play effectively.
Matt Foley, also a freshman in there on that play. Arizona State's on the ropes. Roberson the shot. It's caught by Terry to the 10-yard line. First and goal for K-State with 99 seconds to go. And they're definitely in field goal range now.
R.J. Oliver has been mixing up inside leverage and outside leverage because of what Kansas State's tried to do to him. You can see he's lined up to the inside, but Terry pushes him outside to give him enough room to come back underneath in one-on-one coverage. Oliver was in great position at the line of scrimmage.
Cutter may have to start using his timeouts here, Bud, because K-State's going to run this down to the nub unless they pound it in. Trying for the go-ahead score. Roberson to throw. It's caught. Touchdown, Darren Evans. The first touchdown catch of the season for Evans, who had 1 last year. Puts Kansas State up 6. There's still time. Extra point for Ream, whose brother Jamie was the second best kicker in K-State history. Martin Gramatica was the best. Knocks it through. 61 points. Are there 7 more out there and maybe overtime?
I have. Wait a minute. I got a stat for you.
Oh, good.
Don't leave that television. Don't turn it off. Arizona State has come back 5 times in the second half to win games this year.
That's right.
Arizona State has come back 5 times in the second half to win games. Do not turn off that television.
They've got a quarterback and a system to allow it.
Very good.
Thank you.
One thing also about him. Noticed that he's been throwing the ball in the clutch much better than he did at the beginning of the ball game. When he focuses in and sets his feet, you mentioned the Heisman. When he does that, Kirk, he's a player.
Well, the commitment that he's made, the dedication to the game is the difference now in L. Roberson. He's always had athletic ability, but now he's a student of the game. He needs to continue next year, into next year, make that same commitment and take his game even to a higher level. And he can be one of the guys to keep an eye on for the Heisman Trophy race.
Kansas State leading, guys, for the first time tonight. It's Darren Lightfoot, the starting receiver, trying to get some speed on the return. Lightfoot's brought down at the 22-yard line.
See if they do better.
McDonald, their best receiver in motion. Walter, a deep drop. Steps up in the pocket. Incomplete. Taplin was fighting the ball on the way back. Second down, buck 2 to go.
I always like to see a defense continue to attack. Not necessarily attack and play man-to-man, all-out man, but just continue to play your defense. Sometimes teams go to that nickel or dime coverage and allow the 15 and 20-yard pass to be completed. A team just moves right down the field.
That guy, 97, Melvin Williams, a great pass rusher. 5 sacks, not a complete defensive end, but fresh legs. Big in this spot. He's coming after Walter. He hit him. Walter threw. What a catch. Oh, my goodness, by Taplin at the 43-yard line. That got through 37 K-State players.
I think Terry Pierce touched that. I think he deflected that ball.
Remember, you've got to keep your eye. This is a great throw. Kirk, explain it to him again.
I just want to see it. He gets it over the linebacker. See if Pierce,
He does.
What concentration there by Taplin to hold on to that ball.
Keep your eye, number 81. Keep your eye, number 81.
Walter throws, caught by Taplin. Great catch at midfield. His forward progress will be marked there. This will be a good time to take a timeout. Stop the clock, and ASU does with 42 seconds to go. Midfield, 2nd and 2. 42 seconds left. Mike Williams, the running back, bottom of the screen. Empty backfield. A pocket to throw, deflected, and almost. The game-ending interception for Terry Pierce.
Yo.
3rd and 2 coming up. 4-down territory, obviously.
We've been bragging about Pierce all night. He's not just a big physical linebacker. He's got hands. He's got hands. Catch the ball, big fella.
He can't catch him. He's got gloves and wrap. Look, he's got more tape on it. Looks like Muhammad Ali.
I remind you, gentlemen, that we'll be on ESPN News for our final post-game extra of the season.
Thank you.
I know you're going to be sentimental, but we'll see you there momentarily.
Thank you, man.
That's a fun hit.
And possible press conference coverage, too.
Ooh.
3rd and 2 from midfield. For the 18th straight time, Walter back to throw. And he's going to go back for a 19th time with the game on the line.
The intended recipient of 81, Sean McDonald.
Try to get it to 81. Wasn't open.
That's what you call a hands-on approach from the head coach.
Watch the out and up.
Watch the out and
Watch
up.
the out and up.
I don't think you throw it out and up with 4th and 2. I think you throw something real quick.
Ball game here. 4th and 2.
Throw a 4-yard pass. Stop. Quickly.
He's looking at McDonald. Now he throws. It's caught.
That's it.
Lightfoot has it. Drive stays alive. They pick up 4th down at the 46-yard line. 28 seconds to go.
Great job there of Walter coming off of McDonald and getting the ball out to Lightfoot for the 1st down.
The ball was not out of bounds. Once the player injured, Melvin Williams, leaves the field. It'll be whistled ready for play. The clock will start. ASU well schooled, ready to go right away. Walter is flushed. Has time. Looks for a man breaking downfield to the sideline. Incomplete.
Mike, you see 81?
Oh, no, I saw when I said looking for a man breaking downfield.
He had the tight end Pickard getting downfield along with Sean McDonald.
Sean McDonald was out there wide open. Mike and I watch him.
He got behind Newman. Out of position there. If he leads him downfield, it'd be a close call.
That'd be tough because you had 2 good closers in Walker and Newman
had a chance to get back there.
Yeah, but he had a better chance than that one he threw to Bill Snyder.
Do you start taking shots towards the end zone here, or do you try to get a little bit closer? 19 seconds.
We'll try to get that 15-yard route.
55th pass attempt of the night coming from Walter. Incomplete. He tried to do that and get in striking distance. Lightfoot was the intended receiver. Holiday Bowl record for pass attempts is Ty Detmer's 59 in the 89 game that BYU lost to Penn State 50-39.
You know, after such a long layoff, guys, this is where conditioning truly becomes a big factor. All these teams try to stay in game shape, but they haven't played in 4, sometimes 5 weeks. And now you're not getting in the huddle. You're getting up to the line of scrimmage. Receivers have their hands on their hips. Defensive backs are tired. Who's in the best condition has a big edge here.
If I were them, I'd take somebody driving and come across the middle about 18 yards.
Walter fires. Couldn't get to it. That's Hagan, the freshman. Couldn't pull it down. And we're back to a 4th down situation. This time it's 4th down and 10 with 9 seconds left.
Still have time because you have a timeout and the clock can stop after a 1st down. You still don't have to throw the Hail Mary. Still try to pick up 15 or 20 yards.
And then go up and spike the football.
I would take my time out here.
They're going to use it.
They're going to stay. You know why I take my time out? No matter what happens,
you still get the clock to stop.
The clock's going to stop on the next play, and you can run them out for one more. You can spike it.
Right. But I don't think you need to throw it all the way downfield. You still have a chance here to try to pick up the 15 yards.
Same formation. Don't think the play was changed. Could be it for ASU. Walter moves the pocket. He unloads that bazooka deep down the field. It's a jump ball, and it is knocked down. Game is over, and Kansas State wins its 3rd appearance in the Holiday Bowl. They're the champions of the 2002 Pacific Life Holiday Bowl and could, for the first time in school history, finish in the top 5 in the final poll. Kansas State scores 20 in the 4th to win, and here's Jerry Punch with their victorious head coach.
And Coach Snyder, great teams answer when they're scored upon. Your team had to answer time and again tonight. Congratulations.
Well, we stuttered a lot. That's for doggone sure. I have to take my hat off to Arizona State. I mean, what a phenomenal effort by their players and their coaches. Their preparation, I thought, was great. Really created some problems for us. But I'm awfully proud of our players because, indeed, they were able to come back both offensively and defensively. when it was all on the line.
Some gutsy play calling in the fourth quarter. 4th and 10, used a couple of timeouts to get the play in, and then Roberson to Terry on the big pass completion.
Yeah, we had timeouts were just to suck them in, that's all.
Great effort tonight. Coach, how about your quarterback? What an effort late on that final drive. And L. Roberson on the quarterback keepers and quarterback draws.
Well, you know, El is really a tremendously talented young guy, and he can do an awful lot of very fine things, both in the running game and the passing game. I would venture to say this wasn't at all his best game or best performance of the year, but it was a special performance. He was good when he really had to be good.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you very much.
Mike?
Thanks, Doc. 16th time in 25 Pacific Life Holiday Bowls. The game's decided by a touchdown or less. Press conference coverage coming on ESPN News. That wraps it up for our Thursday football crew this season. Year 4, gentlemen.
Good job, Mike.
It's a pleasure.
Right.
Nothing worse than being away from home. Nothing better than being around this great group of people.
We'll be watching the NBA. And
with Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Jerry Punch, Mike Tirico. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from beautiful San Diego, and off we go to SportsCenter.